Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome everyone to the second monthly, probably never happening again, Souped Up Slam with the Society of Urban Poetry. We are so glad you made it. I'm very happy that everyone is here. We are going to actually have a good time tonight because there was really nothing else that we could be doing anyways. So there's that. We want you to take care of yourself during this pandemic. And we're just going to get to the poems if that's all right with everyone. So if you have never been to a slam before, that's unfortunate. But this slam is probably one of the better things you've ever seen on the internet today. So what we're going to do is we are going to introduce our who are we going to introduce? That's a good question. We're going to introduce our judges because that's probably one of the most important things to a poetry slam. And so if the judges can just I'm going to cancel my spotlight. If the judges can just unmute themselves and say hello as I call out your names, that would be amazing. We have first up Jadi of the If You Can Feel It, You Can Speak It mic.
What up, what up? Happy Friday, y'all. Happy to be here.
This is very nice. Thank you, Ja, for being a judge, as always. Also, we have Catherine Parsons, who's been more than amazing, more than familiar, more than a friend, and I appreciate you being here. Catherine, do you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, thanks. All right. And then we have my co-conspirator and all the things, none other than Nava the Butterfly, Crystal Beck. Crystal, do you want to say hi to folks?
Hello, everyone.
You're doing amazing, sweetie. Okay, thank you. Our next judge is Free. Free, where you at, boo?
What's up? Thank you for having me, Didi. Appreciate you.
No, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And last but certainly not least, we have none other than Buffy Battle. Buffy, do you want to say hello to the peoples?
Hello to the peoples. Thank you for having me.
That was very succinct. Thank you for coming. All right. So those are our judges. For those of you who are participating and you don't know how hyphy a slam is about to be, y'all need to give it up because can't have a slam without the poetry slammers. So I'm going to introduce these individuals in order of appearance. First, we have Dexter joining us. We have Jordan King joining us. We have Jordan Z joining us, Audrey Lane joining us, Afton Taylor joining us, D Ruff joining us, and Amani O joining us. So I feel that many people may not know what is about to happen, but it's okay because I'm about to explain it a smidge. So basically each poet gets to have 3 minutes and 10 seconds to get up on this microphone, so thank us, and they get to spit their shit, which is the most important thing any artist can do, is just share their souls with the world. This is very serious. They want to be judged. No one's going to feel guilty that we're giving out this information, but they have 3 minutes and 10 seconds. If they go over that 3 minutes and 10 seconds, we start to apply a time penalty. There's no cumulative score because we're not part of any fraternizing organization. We're just our ghetto ass selves. Thank you. And we're so happy that you're here. And there are 3 cash prizes. The first cash prize will be $150. So if you are just joining us, y'all know we pass around a bucket. Them Cash Apps, them Venmos, them PayPals is right there because we only got $120 to give away right now. Thank you. And the second prize is going to be $100, and the third place prize is going to be $50. So I don't know about you, but I could use some shmoney. So how are we going to do it? The first round is going to be 7 of these poets competing. The second round is going to be 6, and then we'll drop it down to the third round of 3 poets. So it's going to be cool. Judges, you know what to do. But I'm going to tell the people that you know what to do by telling you that you got to hold up your score. You gotta judge the poem and not the poet. It would be nice to be like, oh, That top is amazing. Her hair was nice. Their hair was amazing. But you can't really judge people on anything but the poem. You gotta say the shit that moved you. And so you're going to judge them, hopefully using decimals, because that makes Chad's job easier. Did I not introduce Chad? I'm such a bad host. Chad Parenteau of the 40-plus year institution Stone Soup Poetry has joined us to keep the time and probably fuck the time. Chad, do you want to say hello to the people real quick? You're doing amazing, sweetie.
I couldn't. I think I got knocked off for a second. Let me see if I can fix my internet.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'm good. So, so is there a time limit? I thought it was just all about score. Now I got to do time too.
Whatever. So, anyways, do you want to just say hi to folks?
Hello, everyone, and good luck tonight.
Wow, that was very nice of you. That's okay. I'm muting you. So there is that. So I am so excited to get this slam started. And so what I will do is I will tell you who's up next, and then I will welcome who's coming up first. And so without further ado, I want to let you know that Jordan King is on deck. But up first, we have Dexter.
You find me here, drowning in a pool of wine and which is which this, except by the taste in one, the tinge of salt in the other, except by the smell of that. Wine doesn't taste as good as it smells, but I drown in it anyway. And my sorrows cry out like prisoners. So I closed the curtain and that much enough for me to ignore. So I sucked dick instead.
What? Okay.
That does, I guess, for the moment. Way. And dick taste feels, but I suck it anyway. Must be a path. Must be a series of choices that led me here. Must be a man every turn to lead me back to this path of unknowing. Must be an open-mouthed girl, but the words won't come out. So she put instead. Thank you.
All right, we're in the midst of a pandemic and we're going to make an executive decision. Every one of your peers, Dex, has decided to come back to you. We'll move you to the end of the line when we come back. There was a connection problem, so I don't know if you want to hop off and then join back again. We want to make sure we were able to hear your words, fix your Wi-Fi, whatever you need to do to get through this time. Okay.
All right, thank you.
So I'm going to cancel your spotlight. On deck, we have Jordan Z, but up next, please give it up to Jordan King.
Part 1, Life. I don't remember what my nightmares used to look like. I know they must have been terrible because I used to wake up screaming until my throat bled. Used to bolt awake, drenched in sweat and blood. Once, I scared myself into staying awake for 3 full days until exhaustion held me captive in the prison of my own REM cycle. And now all of my nightmares have paled into insignificance. Instead, I spend the day being eaten alive. A monster in the shape of my mother calls me her son and takes a bite out of my arm when she notices I hold it like a queer kid. My friends tear chunks from my legs whenever they slip up on my pronouns. Just the other day, I misgendered myself and choked down my own tongue. My ex-boyfriend turns monstrosity, unhinges his jaw to swallow me whole, says every trans femme was just a guy whose father didn't love him enough. And this one hurts not because I'm being eaten, but because he knows exactly how much my father wasn't around to love me. I guess it is easier to be digested than to cope with my father not wanting me. I guess it's easier to be eaten alive when your own father would rather you were dead. I guess it's easier to turn my body reanimated corpse than turn it into a girl. Easier to call me a dead thing than to call me his child for once. And if I am anything like my father, then I'm going to take the easy way out every time. Every morning, I wake up to discover I am Prometheus, chained to the rock, flesh burning under the unrelenting sun, eaten alive day after day after day. I still wake up screaming.
Wow, give it up for Jordan. I'm not allowed to comment on the poem. I'm going to try to monitor my facial expressions for regularities, for knowing, for anything really. And so judges, if y'all could just get your shit together today and hold up those scores so that way we can know what shit, 9.7. I'm gonna wait. Everyone, that was very smart of you, Ja, to put it on your phone. That was ingenious. You are a bad bitch. I love it. All right. So who else do we got here? I got 1 score. I have 2 scores, 3 scores. I'm looking for 2 more scores. 4. Okay. So I'm gonna go in order that I see it, not in order of numbers. Sorry. 9.7 from Buffy, a 9.4 from Free, a 9.7 from Jadi, an 8.8 from Catherine, an 8.7 from Nava. Did I say all the fucking numbers? Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you. So give it up for the poet. Give it up for the poet. And
an 8.9.
Or is an 8.9. Thank you. You got to hold it closer to the screen, baby. Okay. Thank you. Chad, did you get that? So while Chad is doing, let me just tell y'all that y'all are in for an amazing evening. All of these poets have just been doing their thing in their respective cities. This is just clear to me how necessary art is during this time. And I'm really excited to be here with y'all, and I thank you for sharing the space with us. Chad, do you have a score for me, babe?
Yes, I do. Eliminating the 8.8 and one of the 9.7s, the final score for Jordan King's first round is 28.0.
28.0. Give it up for the poet, and certainly not the score on deck. We have Audrey Lane, but right now, give it up for Jordan Z.
If I become a hashtag, if there's video of my death, please don't watch it. Don't dehumanize my last moments, angry reacting on a screen. Trust me.
Okay, what?
To see my body crumple, lifeless heap on the ground, to realize my laughter isn't here anymore. In fact, if you see that it is, don't even share it. Don't circulate it anywhere. I never want my friends, family, or my love to memorialize me like that. But if I become a hashtag, don't forget me. Ever. Chant my name like an anthem. Recite it as the pop song you can't get out of your mind. Spit it out of your mouth as my ancestors curse on white supremacy's head, even if no one marches, or my killer isn't arrested, indicted, or remorseful. Do not forget me. Because as long as you say my name, sing my name, scream my name, the memory of me, of who I am instead of what the media narrative paints me to be, will live on forever. Police brutality and white violence can break apart Black bodies and stifle our breath, but the human spirit is invincible. It always will be. If I become a hashtag, grieve me, do not mourn me. There is no hope in despair, no joy in defeat, but there will always be a light in the dark. Closed caskets and stolen goodbyes can be more than endings. Do not let Solomon burn the world to the ground with his rage. Do not allow him to rip apart his life with his vendetta for the lifetime we deserved. He is so strong, this beautiful man of mine, so deeply courageous and willing to risk everything for the people he loves. I adore him so completely for that, but I would never forgive him for crawling inside the silent embrace of senseless death beside me. It's his responsibility to keep living, brighter and bolder and more miraculous than before. Well, it's his responsibility to try. I'll make sure God reminds him on the bad days that my love for him will survive to keep him warm. He'll need that. Our children will need that, and I'll need to remember it too. Because if I become a hashtag, all the things I want to be and versions of myself I desire to forgive will be left unfinished. My poetry will be the only whispers that remain, and it terrifies me thinking this way. It unhinges my mind as I prepare this testament like a grocery store list I can't afford to forget. I have delayed writing this for so long, hoping if I didn't, the threat of genocide would reluctantly sink beneath the waves of random circumstance again. But each day it rises like the morning sun on all the blurry weekdays that feel impossible to get out of bed. And I know that fearing this day won't outsmart or vanquish the probability of its existence, so I pray often, most of the time in these stanzas. So if I do become a social media ghost, I'll have lived my life unapologetically on my terms, as the unuttered, unending goodbyes remind me of how well I was cared for and stubbornly loved, instead of undoing me. I pray it's enough. I pray my death will matter. I pray we never stop fighting for a world much kinder than this.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, judges. Woo. Judges, 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 do what you can, do what you must, baby. All right, and so I'm going to start looking for judges. I want to just tell y'all that if you don't know, I see 3 scores. If you don't know, today is Friday, May 22nd, 2020. Okay. All right, I see Nava, I see Ja, I see Free, I see Catherine, I see Free, Buffy. Okay, so I'm going to read them in order that I see them. From Nava, we have an 8.6. From Buffy, we have a 9.1. From Jadi, we have an 8.5. From Free, we have 8.7. From Catherine Parsons, we have an 8.4. Thank you, judges. Thank you, judges. Thank you, judges. And while Chad is getting those things together, I just want to let y'all know that after this, we have a special spotlight guest. I felt like we needed to have an area of vulnerability with honesty during this time. And I've invited Brandi Blaze to come and do one of her songs from her album, Late Bloomer. So there is that. Shout out to Miss Andress everywhere. Everyone needs us. Thank you. Chad, do you have a score for me?
Eliminating the 9.1 and the 8.4, the final score for Jordan Z in the first round is 25.8.
That's a 25.8. So please give it up for the poet and not the score. Certainly, certainly, certainly. On deck, we have Afton Taylor, but give it up for Audrey Lane.
Grief ties a knot in my shoulder, holds me hostage to the too small couch, clamps my jaw tight all night, cracks in the morning. Grief looks at me, side eyes in the mirror. My sternum falls into my spine. I dry heave the truth, desperately trying and failing to deny. Winter came before fall finished this year. There were frost green leaves falling on top of the first snow. The aspens didn't know how to suck back all their chlorophyll. They will have a hard time collecting the sun once spring comes. Their loss came, cold shock, green leaves atop a first snow. It was pretty, really. Better for the leaves to die so vibrant. They would have wanted that. I avoid eye contact in the grocery store. I can't have any more clerks asking me if I am okay. All I want to do is buy my sad cinnamon buns and check out. The Chinook pushed all the clouds steadily back across the impossible sky, leaving piercing blue in its wake. Everything melts. The snow was hiding a lot of shit, frozen so we could ignore it. Not anymore. It has been a week and I referred to him in the past tense for the first time. Was. He was. The word is bitter, dull ash. It sunk in the room. Settled gray ache under my ribs. I can see you kissing the ocean floor. Standing at low tide, your eyes filled with Atlantic. Memory swimming in the dark pools, deepening your cheekbones. I can see you at the stern of your sailboat. I can see you sitting at the piano. I can remember hugging goodbye. It seemed like an ordinary departure. We almost forgot to do it. Ah, yes, goodbye, love you. So ordinary, it didn't feel like the last one. My feet bring me to the river again. I pull at a dead tree falling into itself. All its years crumble at my fingertips, dismantled rings returning soft and soaked, snow melt and forest floor. My hands are covered with ancient spruce, now dirt. I am flooded with it. This is not the end of anything.
Well, y'all came to do poems. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone just joining us. Welcome to the people. Judges, y'all gotta let me know how you feel tonight. And then I'm gonna tell you how I feel. We're gonna see if we all meet in the middle at the end of this competition, because it's a competition. These poets are fighting till death for it. All right. So I just need one more. Let's see, what do we got going on here? All right, I'm going to read them in the order that I see them. From Buffy, we have a 9.7. From Ja, a 9.1. From Free, a 9.1. From Catherine, an 8.6. And from Nava, a 9.2. Y'all better tabulate that shit. And while we're tabulating the scores with Chad, I just want to let you know that I have made a pinned comment for those who are joining. There are 3 cash prizes for the very lucky people who will be. It's a pandemic. I don't know if y'all know this shit. We in the midst of a global pandemic, and we all need some shmoney. So these poets are competing, one, for their love of poetry, because they would have to have known how to do it in the first place, but 2, because they're trying to get some money in their pockets. So we're asking you to view the pinned comment on the post. We have Cashapp, we're accepting PayPal and Venmo donations. Thank you. You got $1, $2. There's like 10 million of y'all on the Beyonce's internet today. It's about to be amazing. Thank you. Chad, did you come up with a tabulation? I want to say cumulative so bad, but I know that's triggering some of the people on this call. Chad, is there a score?
After eliminating the 9.7 and the 8.6, the final score for the first round of Audrey is 27.4.
27.4. Give it up for the poets and not they score. On deck, we have D. Ruff. But y'all certainly have to give it up for Afton Taylor. Afton, come on now.
Content warning for dysphoria and periods. Every month, I die a slow and bloody death, a crucifixion of sorts, my spirit pouring out of me in pools of red. I feel like a crime scene, like a murder of my own making, like death is just the nature of my living, all dizzy, weak, all shiver and bruises, black spots on my vision, can't stand upright, shedding the nutrients even my body has decided I do not deserve. I bleed heavy, like wound, like cry in the bathroom, like beg for the day when the bleeding stops, when I can resurrect myself a clean thing, unsoiled, and pretend that my hands will not be forever stained with the red of grieving myself, with the messy death of a girl I learned to be, with the pain of my body once again out of my control, pretend that I will not bleed to death again next month, and everyone calls it a miracle, tells me this is the beauty of womanhood, the magic of giving life, but I am not a woman, and I am tired of giving life. Tired of how my life seems to have always been designed for giving. I want to know how to keep things. My blood, my heart, and my body feels like a dead thing. Feels like hands inside me twisting as if to say this flesh will never truly be mine. Call it a gift from God, but Moses was never left to drown in his Red Sea. I do not worship of my own volition. This is a sacrifice I have no choice but to give. I am a goat slaughtered on the altar of a God that claims he demands no blood. My uterus chants in tongues. She says, remember who you were supposed to be. You were made to hold something, to give life, not live it. You still bleed like a girl. Your body remembers the woman of you. You cannot run from this. so I don't run. I wear my crown of thorns, place my hand on my chest and feel the heartbeat of a not quite girl, still alive, still breathing. Call me a zombie or a phoenix or some kind of savior. Take this blood as a sacrament, but only I will eat of this body, will grow full with this holiness. I have no choice but to keep dying, but I will always live again.
Woo! Woo! Thank you, poet. Thank you. I'm gonna start thanking all the poets. Thank you. Judges, what y'all came to do today? Thank you. I just have questions. Y'all probably have the answers. I see 3 scores. I see 4 scores. What else? Who am I missing? 4. I see 5 scores, so I'm gonna read them in the order that I see them. Catherine Parsons is a 9.3. Free is a 9.2. Ja D is a 9.6. Buffy is holding up a 9.6. And Nava is holding up a 9.3. Thank you for moving it closer to the screen, boo-boo. Okay, thank you. And while Chad tabulates that, I want to tell y'all about some other, well, I don't know if y'all are holding slams, but I want to tell you about some other open mics that are happening on Beyonce's bandwidth that are very important. One is hosted by none other than an amazing poet, an amazing actress and author, Danielle Collin. If you go on Facebook, her group is called Poetic Vibe. We're here to support all artists, but I'm here for the Black artists, so there's that. And another group is If You Can Feel It, You Can Speak It.
You can speak it.
Oh, I'm so uncomfortable right now. But I just want there's gang signs. I just wanted to let y'all know that you can look up that group also. Just type in Feel It, Speak It, and it'll come up. Please join these groups. They are healing balm for the soul during the week. I know Ja does Thursdays and Danielle does Mondays. That's a plug because sometimes I have been the plug. Chad, do you have my score?
Taking out the 8 points, the 9.2 and the 9.6. The final score for Afton Taylor is 28.2.
28.2. Give it up for the poet, and certainly not the score. On deck, I gotta get a little blacker here. On deck, we have Amani O, but y'all have to give it up for D Ruff. Give it up, y'all. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
I've been going to therapy for a year and some months now. And we've been uncovering that I'm a mess, uncovering mess, but that's okay, because I'm a work in progress. And the progress has been hard because healing hurts. And there have been tears. There have been times where I wanted to say, fuck you, and instantly didn't have the energy for exploration on why I'm projecting and verbally attacking my therapist. But this isn't a poem about my therapy or my therapist. It's about the topic we touched on. Why I don't write I in my poems. Keep a distance from me and my vulnerability. Indirectly identify with the issue and explain it in less than 4 minutes. So I wrote a word bank that soon became a list. Why, heartbroken, depression, anger, shame, smile, abandonment, value, happy, art, trauma, self-care, healing, fear, tears, broken, and made these feelings personal. I arrived at therapy to understand my healing, like why I searched for Black women to mend my broken heart, like why I brought myself to a mic to find my value, instead of walking along the end of a blade, kicking a stool and just hanging around. Not putting me in my poems became my method of self-care. Not addressing my depression out loud was a remedy, and not finding my trauma nor uncovering my fear of abandonment within my sessions of weed smoke. Tope, self-medicate, because I've been feeling exposed. Transparent. How my anger and shame seem to make cocktails in the pit of my gut, and I'm always anxious as to when bad shit will happen again. When will I do this bad shit again and again? I'm left naked, exposed in front of my children. Did yesterday I put myself together to today watch myself fall apart? Watch them, watch me fall apart. Is this fatherhood? Is this how I call myself a role model? A positive representation? Not writing I is me flashing a warm smile to hold up the tears when my friends ask me if I'm okay. Or pose as happy in a sea of people, exuding something of worth when I feel worthless, because how am I to get out of this depressive whirlpool again? Calm my tides enough not to rage, not to drown anyone else in my sorrows. I made these feelings personal because they are personal, and uncovering a teary mess because it hurts and it's hard, but it's okay because it's a work in progress.
Judges, what do y'all have to say about niggas that is works in progress? Yes, please share your thoughts. I have 1 score. I have 3 scores. I have 4 scores. And Buffy's on the late train. All right, so I have my scores. I'm going to read them in order that I see them. Chad, I have an 8.9 from Buffy. I have an 8.7 from Catherine, an 8.9 from Free, an 8.3 from Jadi and her NutriBullet, and I also have an 8.9 from Nava the Butterfly. Jadi not gonna let me forget about that NutriBullet. So there is that. And if y'all are just tuning in while we're waiting for Chad to tabulate the score, I want to encourage you to do something you probably haven't done today, because I know y'all have not been taking care of yourselves. Drink water, right? Drink water. And I'm not gonna tell you to breathe because clearly you've been trying your best, but take some time to unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders for a second. Like, get outside of yourself, even when it's hard to be inside yourself. Chad, do you have a score for me?
I do. After eliminating an 8.9 and an 8.3, the final score for D-Ruff in the first round was 26.5.
26.5. Give it up for the poet and not the score. Chad, can you mute yourself? On deck, we have Dexter, because we're going to give that the go around one more again because that's what community looks like. But y'all have to give it up for Amani. Oh.
A chat with the forest for city kids. Dear Mama Woods, first off, let me say you are such a gossip. Words running through your streams with my business all in them, all out in the open for me to clean up, talking about some, why don't I come see you more often, and how you know everything I've been waiting to realize but just wasn't ready to yet. No, you're loud and shady, and somebody needs to tell you about yourself, how you be killing me softly, summoning pain with your fingers, singing my life with these birds, but don't nobody know you like I do. No, not where I stay at. I never see you popping off down here. You're quiet. You only ever got something to say when I'm in your hood, and I know you tried to send that pop-ass deer on me. And so what if I was type scared though? See, because dear yo are foreign concepts in American inner cities. We got pigeons and rats, but they all trash. Pretty birds don't pop off, robins don't rock. And what the fuck is a blue jay anyway? We don't do trees. Well, I mean, well, you know what I mean, but I'm saying, like, what's up with your bias? Because if you bad, right? Ask for asphyxiation, my ass. I beg of you, break down their walls. Where is the revolution in your roots? Your passive pathology, pitiful posts, poor portraits of progress and perilous pursuits at pennies and pretend immortality. Plastic and polyester, they guzzle from gasoline geysers, mistaking it for a fountain of youth. Pouring through the prose in your diary like a panty drawer. They claw through your pages and form hierarchies from your high hieroglyphs, the necessity and equality of every species forever overlooked in their King James translation. You think these people gonna love you, then they gonna hold you down. You are just an object to be dominated and turned down, tamed, renamed, and subjugated to the same madness that cuts topies out of kuntas. They'll strip you of your spirit, take your trees when you're looking for it, even though you'd happily share them for free. This is a warning. Let the hood be your wading water, be your chariot, be our Harriet. This be no secret, can't be no secret when nothing be sacred, won't be no plea bargain for your safety, just a guarantee of your... I've learned to be quiet here. But Miss Woods, I fear we're running out of time. I can't shake from my mind that they're coming soon. You and me, we got a thing going on. But monogamy will be the death of us both if you don't learn to become a city mouse now. So if I die before I wake, I pray that you will educate and make a few appearances in the vacant lots that litter the darker sides of town. Let them compare the imitation to the blueprint. Pluck peaches from your treetops, herbs from your pits, cleanse our palates, heal our tongues, repossess us, become legit with it. No artificial, no preservatives, motherfuck nature deficit. Don't go. Signed sincerely with love, earth gold, yo, brilliant, turned up urban children, resilience on a zillion. Can you feel them? Like you, they are tremor, black thunder, stardust and wonder. They crack, shatter, save seed and recover. Dear mother, we need you. Come home.
Thank you, thank you. Give it up for the poet. Y'all can't ask upstate New York to come out and play. Y'all can't do it. It's just ridiculous. All right. Judges, what do you feel about Blue Jays? I got one score. Is this my job? Okay, I got one score. I got two scores. I got 4 scores. I'm looking for the 5th score to get me in the front door, waving a 4-4. Okay, we got it. So I'm not a lyricist. All right, so I'm going to read it in the order in which I see it. Buffy is giving us a 9.8. Catherine is giving us a 9.7. Free is giving us a 9.2. I got Ja giving me a 9.2. Are y'all twinning today or nah? And then Nava is coming out the door with a 9.4. Give it up while Chad is doing the tabulations. And also too, while Chad is doing the tabulations, I just want to talk about myself for a second, if I may. Thank you. I forgot to mention that there is another open mic that I am aware of. Actually several. So the Dirty Gerund is one. I'm gonna always put Massachusetts on, I'm sorry. So the Dirty Gerund is out of Worcester, and Alex will never mess up on that man's name. Alex is in charge of that mic, and he did one, I believe it was Wednesday. Chad Parenteau is the host of the Stone Soup open mic, and he does them Fridays?
Every Wednesday night now. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
Every Wednesday from 7 to 9. And I can't forget, last but certainly not least, to my knowledge, the Boston Poetry Slam. Poets are changing y'all's lives right now. Chad, do you have a score for me?
Yes, I do. Eliminating 9.2 and the 9.8. The final score for Armanio in this first round is 28.3.
28.3. Please give it up for the poet and not the score. And last but certainly not least, we are going to circle back to Dexter because all things are beautiful and malleable and true. Give it up for Dexter, please.
Everybody can hear me? Okay. Content warning for sexual acts. You find me here, drowning in a pool of wine and teary, but you can't tell which is which this time, except by the taste of them, except by the taste of acid in one and the tinge of salt in the other, except by the smell of them. Wine doesn't taste as good as it smells, but I drown in it anyway. And my sorrows cry out like prisoners, so I close the curtain and hope it muffles the sound enough for me to ignore. But it doesn't. So I suck dick instead. That does the trick, I guess, for the moment anyway. And dick doesn't taste as good as it feels, but I suck it anyway. Must be a pattern. Must be a series of choices that led me here. Must be a you at every turn to lead me back to this path of unknowing. Must be an open-mouthed girl, but the words won't come out, so she put something in it instead. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Anytime Dick gets mentioned, I get nervous. So thank you, everyone. I just had to break the ice on that shit. I wasn't expecting it, but that's the beauty of a poetry slam. People are talking about their walks of life, and I've sucked a dick or two. So there's that. Poets, judges. Can we get some scores up before I keep talking and embarrass myself? Thank you, if I haven't already. All right, God bless y'all. Okay, thank you. I see John D. I see Free. Y'all can encourage me. I see Catherine. I see Nava and Buffy. All right, so I'm going to read the scores backwards from how I saw them. Buffy is giving us an 8.7. Nava is giving us a 9. Catherine is giving us an 8.7. Free is giving us a 9.2. Jadi is giving us an 8.9. Chad's going to tabulate those scores. It's going to be very exciting. And while Chad's doing it, folks, I really want you to, when you finish and you know it's time to pack it up and go home, please share this post, because y'all's words are very meaningful. And I can tell that because the audience gets to interact with you differently than at a regular slam, because they're actually leaving commentary as we're doing it. And so if I were y'all, I would check in if you're okay with it. So Chad, do you have a score for me?
I do. Eliminating the 9.2 and the 8.7, the final score for Dexter in the first round is 26.6.
26.6. Give it up for the poet and not the score. And while Chad is, we're going to tabulate all the scores from this first round, and we are going to, are we dropping one, Nava? I feel like I forgot again. I was smoking weed. Sorry.
I think Nava said yes, 1.
Okay, so we're gonna drop one. Who am I if I'm not honest with myself? Thank you. We're gonna drop one person from this round. The second round will have 6 poets, so you'll hear another round of poetry. And then the third round is Lightning Blitz. It's gonna be amazing. Nava, you're a butterfly, you look good. Chad, who are we dropping from this round?
If you give me sharing properties, I can give you the tally on.
Oh, yes, let me allow you, please. Hold on one second.
Thank you for purchasing me some hair.
You're welcome. I feel like everyone needs braids sometimes, Crystal.
Tallying up the scores, it seems that if we're dropping the lowest, and sadly we have to say goodbye to Jordan Z at 25.8.
And that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. And so we're going to give it up. And Chad, can you do me a favor? Because I think that there was a point of contention last time. Can you just can you leave your screen up and put the scores in number now, so that way I can renumber the poets so that they can go that way?
Oh, in the order in which they, in from highest to lowest, you're saying?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Y'all know exactly what the fuck I be talking about, don't you? All right.
But not cumulatively.
Not cumulatively. All right.
That's a dirty word.
I just want to give it up for all the poets. I mean, that's not going to be the last that we hear from Jordan, because Jordan has decided to grace us on the open mic. I made it sound so dirty, but it is what it is. I'm sorry. All right. So, Chad, did you find out what my numbers are, please, sir? I may have muted Chad. Okay, I just wrote down rewrote down the names. I got my list.
Just give me 1 second. I'm reading.
Sure, no problem. You're doing the best you can under these circumstances. because I don't do the math. I don't know if any of the poets here do the math, but baby, don't leave me in charge of the math. Who does? Amanio?
Love the math. I got the order.
I feel like Jordan King is like Nava. Nava be not even enjoying the slam. Nava be like, like writing everybody's score down.
You all got different attention spans.
Right. Nava be like, All right, Chad, what do we got? And Buffy, you mind your business. I did write it on the back of my appeal form because they made me go through the DOT and they charged me $75 on a $1.75 violate. It's so much. Okay, go ahead. Fuck this bill.
I just shared the doc.
Okay. Well, this is nice. Okay. So for first, now for the second round, Amani O looks like they are going first. Goddess. Afton Taylor will be number 2. Jordan King will be number 3. Audrey Lane will be number 4. Dexter Garcia is number 5. And D Ruff is number 6. And so I will call y'all in that order just to mix things up a bit. Chad, thank you so much for sharing your screen. You're doing amazing. All right, so poets, y'all got this. Y'all are into yourselves. Y'all look good, okay? Popping. And so on deck, we have Afton Taylor, but y'all need to give it up for Amani O.
To my future ex-boyfriends, all the men leave when they discover they cannot keep me exclusively. I wonder why they've never learned to share. In the beginning, we enjoyed such sweet talk, late nights and early mornings. You were invested, the courting, the first times. My stop sign, the label boyfriend, both enthralled and confused you. Back when you had my thirst hanging all out like breastfeeding nipples or Shireen's working corners, desperate to eat, accepting strange meats in exchange for bread, trying to put food on her table. It's 2 a.m. Where are you now? I've never been one to sacrifice, not when it comes to romance. When I was a kid, we moved so many times, I stopped keeping count. So I've learned to savor things and hold fast to dreams. Regret never tasted too good in my mouth. I couldn't ever keep it down. So I've learned to keep doors unlocked and options open like you've had me since day one. My ex told me a polyamorous love is a lonely one. Sexual liberation, he said, is for a few rogue hearts who don't shave their yonis and underarms and have orgies or obscure communes while the rest of us make this world go round. This fictitious fallacy I'm force-fed by friends and family got me light years away from my truth. Possession is not love, it's fear. But what have you to be terrified of? Love is patient and kind and never ever envious. I mean, like, what does belonging to another person actually mean? We haven't get mastered treating strangers on the street like our brothers, our siblings, our mothers. I am a child of this earth. I do not wish to belong only to you. Shackled in the limits of duality, they got you too. I am both vexed and perplexed, the complexicated extent of your brainwashing, the limits of a systemic situation, mountains of manipulation beneath property laws and claims to ownership papers all over my part. Since you've realized only room for one name on the deed of my heart, you've begun treating my body like a rental. Keeping your visits both sporadic and suspenseful. My time must seem so dispensable to you, but is my logic really that nonsensical though? You punish me in my disdain for a monogamy that says if you love me, you may never lay a finger on anyone else. What a jealous God you are is funny. What you call love is rooted in a religious text and a patriarchy that values chastity while demanding a freak in the bed, a text that condones the murder of a woman who is an aversion on her wedding night, stemming from economics and property rights, requiring of me an unwavering fidelity, protecting assets through facets of control and subjugation, the maintenance of meaningless social expectations. My love is too enormous for your entitled conception of intimacy. Oh, and I promise you, boo-boo, you will never acquire the tools required to bag it, store it, steal it, keep it tucked away all to yourself. Also, do note my bedroom ain't no drop and go. It is an honor to be invited to share space in my estate. My time is precious, my memory is faithful, and my love is without bounds. Life leaves little room for regret, so I'm committed to living this one all the way out loud as an unabashed act of resistance, bold and brass as the goddess I am, daring you to unshackle your existence.
Okay, I had to take myself at mute. Give it up for the poet. I'm trying to be metered in my conversation. I'm trying to be my best self, even though that often is hard at times. Judges, can you help me judge the polyamorous self that I have become? Please, judges, help me judge it. Ooh, Lord. All right, I see 1 score. I see 2 scores. I see 3. I see 4. I'm missing 1 more. You know, I used to want to be a 90s singer, but okay. 1, we're not going to talk about me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, got it. So Nava is a 9. Ja is a 9.6. Free is a 9.4. Catherine P is a 9.8. And Buffy is rounding out with a 9.5. Give it up for the poet. What a poem. I'm really excited that folks have been able to contribute what they can. Nava texted me very furiously and angrily and told me to tell y'all thank you for donating. I'm supposed to tell you the name too. Thank you, Dom Refuerzo, for paying the $2. Thank you to Tashella for the 20. We're getting these poets and these artists paid, and that's all that matters today. So thank you. Chad, do you have a score for me, or do I need to keep myself on the spotlight video?
Why not both? The lowest score of 9.0 and 9.8 have been eliminated, leaving the final score for Armani in the second round with 28.5.
With 28.5. All right, give it up for the poet and not the score. All right, and on deck we have Jordan King, but certainly give it up for Afton Taylor.
Sometimes you hold me so close to the fire, heat on my face like almost unpleasant, almost too close, too warm to burn this comfortable pain. All flame, dance, sparks fly, scared to set my dress alight. Heartbeat, adrenaline carry blood marching through these veins like mania, trying to hold itself still like parade or drug-fueled funeral procession, maybe acid trip melancholy or some kind of heat stroke like sun surface, summer days, no air conditioning, but sometimes you don't want me here. Find my soft body is too hard for you, too difficult. Too much warmth for your winter, my flesh too tough for you to make palatable. Tell me, my skin is made of magma and we are not the same. Tell me, I am too volcano for this hearth. Tell me, my bones cannot be firewood but burn me anyway. Sometimes I am banished. I am go home, stay away, dead coals and shiver in the empty. Sometimes your eyes are so empty. So cold, like frostbite, like you were not heat wave only moments ago. I am abandoned. I am splintered wood begging for the flickering tongue of fire, but sometimes you give me ice cube, dry ice maybe. Place it gently on my palm like you don't know this burns too. Sometimes you tell me space is good for us, then push me out the airlock. Watch my body all frozen corpse puppet boy, and I have always been loved best this way. Too cold to hold this fire in me, all brittle bone pose and toothpick person. Float amid stars and call myself the moon for you, name you my world, and feel the sun on my face again, and I am all melt again. All springtime thaw, all fresh, new, okay, all finished with this desolate and waiting for your next forest fire, waiting to be burnt alive again, like addicted to my own witch trial, like fall to the ground in a blaze of something I told myself I needed. And look at all these branches, all this growth I have made only for you to consume it, consume me. Swallow me unspoken like a bad idea. Exhale smoke and ask it why I am cinder now. Look at my ashes. Call them ashes. Call them dead things. Call it the me you burned, thinking I would rise from this like Phoenix, but I am no miracle this time. I do not get back up. I am dust. Your cold wind blows me away again, and I am gone now, forever.
I don't know who I am anymore. So there's that. Thank you so much, poet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my. Judges, come on, do the stanky leg. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, judges. Y'all got it, y'all got it, y'all got it. I see 3 scores. I see Jaws, I see Freeze, I see Catherine. Buffy just pulled up to my bumper, baby. All right, Nava. Okay, all right. I see y'all out here. We got a 9.2 from Nava the Butterfly. We got a 9.3 from Ja D. We got an 8.9 from Free the Poet, a 9.6 from Cashapp, and a 9.8 from Buffy Battle. Thank you so much, judges. And Chad is going to tabulate the score. Poets. Y'all are doing the damn thing. And y'all who are just joining, please stay tuned for the open mic, which is a freestyle of sorts. Poets have 4 minutes to share their hearts with us. And also, one of my favorite people in the world, none other than Brandi Blaze, will be joining us. Chad, do you have a score for me?
Eliminating the 9.8 and the 8.9, we are left with 28.1 for Afton's score in the second.
All right. Thank you so much, Chad. And give it up for the poet and not the score, 28.1, 28.1. On deck, we have Audrey Lane. But for right now, y'all better give it up to Jordan King.
Part 2. Death. In my wildest dreams, I have mutilated myself into something beautiful. I transform my body into something I feel at home in, and I call it a resurrection, but in the mornings, I can still hear them. The ghosts of my former selves. All of the me's that I killed just to be here, and I wonder if it's stupid to be scared of haunting myself. All a renovated house over ancient burial ground. They are my bespoke nightmare. But my eyes do not close during the day. My mouth, all mausoleum and do not enter signs. My body, a crypt where we are all interred, each bone, a skeleton key in a graveyard. I try desperately to keep locked up. My ghosts call me by my dead name like a curse.
Flesh.
Like they are mocking me. Silly necromancer, they say. Don't you know that dead things belong in the ground? Don't you know that you should have been a dead thing? They are not wrong. In another life, I used to slit my wrists open 5 days of the month and wonder if spilling this blood could substitute itself for the period I would never have. In another life, I played chicken with some man who tried to lift up my skirt, and this time I didn't have a knife in my purse. In another life, I swallowed all of the pills in my room when I realized I would never be as pretty as I wanted to be. And in this life, all of these things are the truth, and I just survived them anyways. And the ghosts inside of me say, how will I ever truly be trans enough if I can't even die right? And this is what it is to be trans like me. I am a would-be dead thing, killing itself over and over and over and keeping the bodies locked inside of me. I am a tomb of my former selves. All of the me's that I killed just to be here. A walking, talking, waking nightmare, but at night, when I can finally close my eyes, I dream I am a beautiful thing. I wonder if all monsters believe they can be butterflies.
Give it up for the poet. Wow. Sometimes that thing just hits you, don't it? Judges, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. I don't even have to talk. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Do the right thing, judges. All right, I have 1 score. I have 2, 3, 4. I'm looking for Nava the Butterfly to show me her wings. Oh shit, okay. He had to be extra. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read the scores in the order that I see it. From Jadi, a 9.7. From Free, a 9.5. From Catherine, a 9.7. From Nava the Butterfly, a 10. And from Buffy the Battle, 9.8. Thank you, thank you, thank you, judges. Thank you. Whew. Y'all poets be spilling their hearts out. I'm not a poet, so I don't know how y'all do this. I really don't know. Y'all are just amazing and stardust and graveyard dirt all in the same. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. Whew. If y'all need a sip of water, please come back to the video. We doing the things. We doing the things. We doing the things. I had to look astute, so I put on my glasses. Chad, do you have a score for us?
Yes, I do. Sadly, having to say goodbye to the 10 and the 9.5, which is the lowest score, highest and lowest scores. We have a final score of 29.2 for Jordan King in the second round.
29.2. Give it up for the poet, and certainly not their score. Let's see. On deck, I have Dexter, but for right now, give it up for Audrey Lane.
I too have reached for a hand to hold in a moment that requires the sum of our warmth, breathing air, drinking water, wild creature, turning a juniper berry methodic thumb and forefinger till it splits, open, wet and fragrant, staining the air with its heart, woman. I have known the spring-flooded soil, intimate with the spaces between my toes. My calf has a scar. Thin, long, from the whip of a young alder I pushed through, body. So many mornings I woke up on the floor. So many mornings a bird nesting in the chimney screams me into day. So many mornings I have another body, one I look at, strange and tangled limbs, lover. I pull a carrot from the earth. I planted its spicy seed months ago. I eat it immediately, straight from the collapsing pocket in my raised bed, bites full of sweet snapping sun, soil under tongue, child. Fresh snow, red cheeks, hill, my brothers at the bottom, me at the top, sled perched precipice. I know what I must do. I still know, plummet and climb, plummet and climb. Doctors tell me what happened. Seizure, epilepsy. It's going to be okay. Mother lies with me all night. We remember far back. I remember remembering. Now memory is a sticky August heat, a sweat-beaded, blurry cactus mirage, a dance drain recollect, a side effect, salt and wire scalp, side effect. You feel the nothing in something you once loved, side effect, hanging blanket over your window, side effect, nothing really matters, side effect, rattle, click, click, pills in a pretty blue bottle, better than the sound of teeth in your mouth, better than bone grind. I reach for a hand to hold. In a moment that requires the sum of our warmth, I grasp at half-empty circles and the words, I eat them alone, at midnight, alone, but with myself, with the body I try not to look at too long, only I see it, eyes closed, monster and yellow, purple streak. I am gas leak, invisible and a spark away. Sink in your fingers, put a leech on me, nectarine flesh. Let's howl laughter into the wounds, watch them shrink. Then we can notice the stars and how the mist curls up and how the insects are doing their sacred work. Which brick on your wall came through your window? Was it all of them? Are you still building windows? For example, I plan to fall in love again. Vulnerable. No one promised me anything. Plummet and climb. I too have reached for a hand to hold in a moment that requires the sum of our growth, a love bigger than my broken and individual pieces.
Ooh, give it up for the poet. Give it up for the poet, y'all. Poets just bring their broken pieces, don't they? I don't know them. I don't know them, but I feel like that's what they come here for. Judges, help me, lest ye judge. Lest ye judge, judges. Judgy McJudgington judges. I see one, Free. I see Nava. I see Buffy. I see Catherine let her hair down. She's trying to get comfortable over here, okay? All right, I see Nava. I see Ja. Okay, I'm gonna read it from the order I see it now. Ja with the 9.1, Free with the 8.9, Nava with the 9.4, Buffy with the 9.3, and Catherine with the 9.5. Give it up for the poet. This is serious stuff, y'all. This is serious stuff. I didn't know that poets' hearts bleed on an open mic, but they do. I want to thank folks that are contributing to our bucket that we're passing around, because if not, I'm pulling out of my paycheck to pay for the slam today. And we just have to be honest with ourselves. Chad, do you have a score for me?
Indeed, I do. Eliminating the 9.5 and 8.9 as the highest and lowest scores, we are left with 27.8 for Audrey Lane.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And give it up for the poet and certainly not Audrey's score. On deck, we have D Ruff, but y'all better give it the fuck up for Dexter.
Content warning for abuse. And or after Jean Ann Verley. There is no safe space here. And this is target practice. And I love her so much, I watch her fire. And stand at the end of this range and watch her pull the trigger with no warning. And it's so easy for her. And she never knows how much damage is done. And I'm never the one standing because I have ammo I use. And she watches me fall and says I'm just being dramatic. And she watches me bleed and says I'll be okay. And I feel as if I may die this time around. And days later, I unwrap my wounds and they are still open. And I brace myself for it to happen again. Or love myself. Or build myself. Or understand that this is toxic. Or know that I can still love her while telling her this is wrong. Or scream, or cry, or kick, or shield myself. Or protect or heal my heart, or know that love and pain are not the same things, or ask her to do better, or tell her I deserve better, or know that she doesn't know how sometimes, or teach her, or tell her I'm trying, or love her harder, or love her from afar, or let myself smile, or dodge the bullet, or watch her pull her weapon, and this time, run.
Woo! Thank you, poet. Thank you. Judges. How you feel about running? Tell me how you really feel about running, judges. I know how Ja feels about running. I see how Catherine feels about it. Y'all out here in these streets. Come on, Buffy. All right. I got Free. Okay. All right. I see you out here. Nava, are you still feeling the way you feel about running? Like, what's going on with the score? Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to read it in the order in which I see it now. I see Ja D with an 8.9. I see Catherine Parsons with a 9.3. Buffy with a 9.6. Nava with a 9. And Free with a 9.1. That was a score. That was a scoring process. Y'all did that, judges. Come on now. I want to thank some of the people who have donated in the past 20 minutes, or some of the people that have even donated earlier today. Remy F, thank you. Daniel Robbins, thank you. Preem KB, thank you. And also Nikki A, thank you so much for giving what you could, because we're all a community and we're in this together. Thank you. Chad, do you have a score for me?
I do. Eliminating the 9.6 and the 8.9 as the highest and lowest scores. We have a 27.4 for Dexter in the second round.
27.4. Give it up for the poet and not the score. And keep that applause going. Wow, I haven't said that in like ages. Keep that applause going for D. Ruff.
Maybe you're playing. Said in a feminine tone. Got images of her feminine tone going to work all on her own, and maybe she right about the type she is, about how I'm about to write about the type she is, because she's the right type, how wife-like she is. She's a spend a life with type, a roll up with her type. So when I roll up on her type, I'm only trying to see how long we can be tight, like how long are we about to stay like this? Like bliss, like clutching on to the names will soon manifest, like miss, like temptress, like the love will soon feel on the mattress, and I can't disrupt this madness. But how long did I stay trapped in your gaze, tripping mushrooms, baby? Because naturally I'm trying to see different. Parallel, there's no parent hell I dwell like. Close to God, my qualities are E-N-L like Elohim, because Hebrew's a testament with a pair of old mics. Test men like Lent, but is that just physical might? Monetary sight? Do I want to feel how tight or see new height? This is all about positions and attentions. Different zones and different dimensions. Speak to my skin or quench my soul. What am I reflecting when attempting? Am I listening to an erection or erecting something interesting in her? I'm guessing. She questions, are we building and balling or fucking installing? Because 3 out of 4 ain't bad at all, unless I'm trying to say I'm trying to crawl. Is she in with the foolishness and lip service? Unless what my lips serve is to be blessed. Truth lurks deeper than the flesh, and there ain't no playing with it. So maybe she right. Maybe I'm just playing. Maybe.
I mean, maybe, nigga. Judges, what y'all got to say? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Judges, I know y'all got to say something, because maybe she right and maybe she wrong. Maybe she won't, maybe she will. I quote a great philosopher, Lil Wayne. I appreciate you. It's serious over here. All right, thank you. I see Catherine. I see Nava. I see Josh trucking along. Who else do I got? I got Free. I got Buffy. Okay, all right, we ready. We're ready to shout out these scores. So Ja is giving me an 8.9. Catherine is an 8.7. Buffy is a 9.0. Nava a 9.4. Free a 9.1. Give it up for the poet, the poet, the poet. And Chad is going to tabulate our score. Also, I want to do a shameless plug if I can, before we close out tonight. If anyone has any announcements, come on, community choir, y'all can say that. I have a podcast or something, and it's called The Full Set. So if you are watching this and you are interested in not seeing whitewashed avenues of Black content, please tune in, go to Facebook. It is streaming on Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and actually all the things, Stitcher, all that shit. I don't know. I don't even know who listens to Stitcher. It's okay. All right, Chad, do you have a score for me, please?
Lots of people live in Scituate, probably.
What? That's not what I said.
Eliminating the 9.4 and the 8.7. All right, the final score for D. Ruff in the second round is 27.0.
27.0. Give it up for the poet, and certainly never, never, ever their score. Chad, are you going to do the thing where you do the tabulations?
You know, I
calculate. No? Okay, thank you.
I will definitely do it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm really excited when people say they're going to do stuff. Thank you. So while Chad is doing that, I want to thank everyone who is joining us so far on the interwebs. I've shared this about 20, 30 places. Oh, and thank you to Teresa O for giving us a donation. That was amazing. Teresa was one of our judges last time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all want to give a shout out? Well, we'll wait to the end. You know, whoever the winners are, they I don't know, guide their muse, their mamas. I don't know who you want to thank. So Chad, do you have what the tabulation is for the second round?
Sharing now.
Thank you. Oh, you're sharing your screen. I love this. Come on, technology.
So the people moving into the final round are Jordan King, Amani O, and Afton Taylor. Our best
All
regards
right.
to Audrey
Go
Lane,
ahead.
Garcia, and D. Ruff.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And give it up to all the poets who have thus far shared their art form with us. This has been amazing. And Chad, if you want to take the screen sharing away, I have no problems going into the last and final round. Those of y'all who don't know, now you know. This is the round where it makes sense to make sense. You understand what I'm saying? No pressure. This is nasty. This is fantastic. I'm all for it. The order is going to be in first place. Going first is Jordan King. Then there will be Amani O, and then will be Afton Taylor. So on deck is Amani O. And up next, please give it up for Jordan King. Wait, Jordan, I have to find you, sorry. All right, I spotlighted you. Go ahead, baby.
Part 3, Resurrection. He still visits me. Late at night, when my insomnia has won out in the battle against melatonin, he will sneak into my waking thoughts and we'll sit there, the two of us, just talking. I'd forgotten just how much he reminded me of myself towards the end. It's been nearly 2 years since he left me alone here. Been 6 years since we first shared this space together, and when he vacated, I kept his heart with me. Thought it might help me keep a part of him here, or at least liven the place up a little, but now I just feel like a casket holding another dead body that looks just like mine. And I say I am reborn now. Call this my resurrection, but this ache in my chest still feels so familiar. Still feels like boy. Still sings like be a man, still screams in my ear that if I weren't such a sissy back then, he would still be alive today. And everyone says that moving on is the hardest part. Says that living is the hardest part of grief, but living is always easier when you never had to personally survive the trauma before. And I thought that when he died, when he was buried, when I mourned him, I would never have to survive the trauma for him too. I could have swore I'd grieved him properly. Promised myself that this body was not his body anymore. I was there. We had the conversation. He told me he was not interested in surviving it so long as I did, but I suppose Jordan was never meant to be a resurrection. Instead, it is a eulogy. Nothing more than a fragmented memento to remember him by. Just a keepsake, his heart that I keep in this closed chest casket body buried under all of this survivor's grief, entombed within me.
Y'all, give it up for Jordan. Thank you so very much for your poem. Judges, please collect yourselves. Oh, I just have to say I'm grateful for poetry. It has been therapeutic during this entire quarantine, if it wasn't already before. So thank you. I have Free, I have Buffy, I have Catherine, I have Ja. And also, if y'all need to participate in maladaptive behaviors, I'm not the one to judge you. I just want to let you know. Okay. Let's see. Do I have Nava? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to read them from left to right. Free is giving me a 9.4. I have a 9.6 from Nava, the beautiful butterfly, a 9.7 from Buffy Battle, a 9.8 from Catherine P, and a 9.6 from Ja D. Yes, well, that is being tabulated. You have some fans in the audience, Jordan. So thank you. Also, thank you to Stacy M, who just put some money in the pot. If you are joining us, Please get comfortable. We have an open mic after this, and Brandi Blaze will be joining us on the mic. It's going to be a lituation. You don't know. No one knows. It's going to be fine. Thank you. Chad, do you have a score for me, babe?
Yes, I do. Eliminating the 9.8 and 9.4 as the highest and lowest scores, we are left with the final score of 28.9 for Jordan in the final round.
28.9. Give it up for the poet, and certainly not the score. On deck, we have Afton Taylor, but right now, give it up for Amani O.
I wrote this on the side of a coffee cup, thinking about the Black femmes on the subways rarely having any wedding bands compared to their white counterparts. Coffee cup doodles, Snickers and Stitches wishes for Mrs. born on the receiving end of Hollywood love affairs. My love, chock full of brown sugar, blackstrap molasses, and buckwheat honey funny just isn't sweet enough for the screen. Dear Johns that are neatly in all the notebooks about walks to remember, cherry lips, tiny hips, and the eternal sunshine, while this spotless mind is clawed at by crabs determined to get them $40 in a bus pass, bus mine on a high-rise stairwell on that rise to the top. The type not aspiring to the picket fence kind of love, no, but generations, a generational genocide slipped into Afro-Cuban beats and blunt street calls for cats, cap snap back to back shift, shifty eyes, furtive glances, and a trainer, stone cold faces, and the non-neutrality stance. Well, maybe I'll meet them here with their press parole polo, sensual swagality, and limitless possibilities. I mean, like, who's my Ryan Gosling or leading lady, lusty lips, roach clips, and an unspoken expertise about how to handle my shit? What's that next Nicholas Spark classic? Mahogany toned matrimony, sweep me away in eyes that have seen the glory of my coming, the victory of my struggle, while I stroke you to sleep and you rub my soul sensually like you've known them for centuries, like my heartbeat wasn't the metronome to your fifth symphony, sinfully stolen moments away from the soulless eyes of a master plans to run hand in hand for eternity. But we were separated at some point between here and that plantation, but it's all good because I saw you at Atlantic Ave station on the 4 train side going to Crown Heights, Utica Avenue. Thought about having you kids and a commitment to tomorrow, raising seeds in a city where a tree grows every now and then. Sometimes you hang from it. Snap back. My reality's too real. I want to talk about industrial complexes and how I represent nonprofits, collaborating with systems of injustice, shackling my people in complacency, handcuff, hope, 32 bars of vigilante, police brutality, hip hop, hoop dreams. I'm saying, no, I get that's kind of heavy. Like, what you about? What you trying to get into? This lifetime, at least, who did they get you? Because I miss you too much. Your boisterous baritone, your soft speech, the tender of your rhyme, your volume is mine, your rhythm, blues, divinity. You strike me from miles away. The attention you command by inhaling and exhaling consistently. I want to join your team. Look me in the eyes from across the platform and tell me you can see it too. Tell me you can see it, boo, sitting here waiting on Hollywood reconstructions. What about me and you being true to our destiny? I kind of feel like you tested me. Like if I step to you, you on front like you don't want the digits, rigid in your conviction, not to be dazzled by my diction about some bullshit movie screen fiction. But baby, you got me itching. From them cornerstone calculations about how to counter calamity and the right way to crash into me without disturbing the peace. I remember you. You haven't been whitewashed away, and you do not only exist in the crevices of my creation. I know you intimately. So while the mainstream play like they must have forgot, well, tell them they better ask somebody. Matter of fact, they better ask me, because I remember you. Mahogany tone matrimony, please say I do.
Thank you. Tonka shunk. It's only one time a month that I say a word in another language. Judges, please show us your judging. Thank you. I really love judging the judges. I don't know why. And I know y'all be doing me a favor every time. I got 2 scores. I got 3. I got 4. Do I see one more? All right, Free. All right, bars. Okay. So from left to right, I have a 9.3 from Free. I have an 8.9 from Nava, a 9.7 from Buffy, a 9.8 from Catherine, and a 9 from Ja. Give it up for the poet, Amani O. And yes. And that is a beautiful plant background. I love how Zoom makes everyone nosy. I being the most of them, thank you. Chad, when you get it, you let me know what's going on.
Eliminating the 9.8 and the 8.9. The final score for Amani in this final round is 28.0.
28.0. All right, give it up for the poet and not the score. And certainly not last but not least, Afton Taylor. Afton, 1 second, babe. All right, you got the spotlight now.
It's so easy to fall in love with the feeling of being empty, with the hollowness of a day gone by and not a single bite, and another day and another. Hunger leaves very quickly, does not feel at home here in a body so willing to starve, and what remains is this glass bottle feeling like I have room inside of me to hold fireflies or pretty autumn leaves or something beautiful, something other than body, this mass of body, the fullness, the taking up too much space. When my stomach finally stops growling, it feels as though I have tamed a wild creature. Feels all gentle forest singing, tiny bird landing on fingertip. When I feel dizzy, watch the world spin in and out of focus, I think myself a delicate thing. The pretty kind of fragile, like swooning princess rather than dragon or troll. And after a week without food, it is easier to pretend that glass slippers would not break beneath my weight, that they would not shatter in slight steep into my swollen, chubby feet, that I would not call the blood loss a miracle and marvel at a few drops lighter, wonder if I could spare a few drops more, wonder if I could maybe carve away enough to find a thinness underneath, wonder if my bones are really necessary. I would be smaller without ribs, would be smaller without lungs. I hold my breath a little longer, would trade oxygen to be less of me. I say that fat is not a dirty word, and it isn't, or it shouldn't be. But there are days when it coats my mouth, leaves a taste like artificial sweetener, like everyone says it is just as good. But I'm not sure that I believe them. Not sure I will ever be worthy of my own largeness. Not sure this is worthy of feeding. When fat bodies starve, they call it blossom instead of wither. Call it taking care of yourself. Praise me for neglecting my flesh into extinction. So I savor this hollow-bodied feeling. Rejoice at the headaches, call them a mark of progress. Call suffering a perfect price to pay for the nothing inside me. I drink 1,000,000 glasses of water. Keep my lips busy whispering in the mirror. I say you could be so beautiful. Days go by and I feel like I am dying, but all I can think about is how wide the casket will be.
I don't know who I am. Judges. You know how when you be in like one of those Christian churches, if you ever accidentally walk by one and the usher's like, excuse me, that's how I feel right now. Just excuse me. I have 1 score. I have 2, I have 3, I have 4. I got the 5th one, baby. I have a 9.6 from Nava the Butterfly. I have a 9.8 from Jadi and her NutriBullet. I have a 9.5 from Catherine P, a 9.8 from Buffy B, and a 9.7 from Free. Woo, child. Am I allowed to say woo, child, now that the scores have been, okay. Woo, child. Okay, thank you. I appreciate y'all allowing me to be myself. Woo. Y'all who are tuning in, y'all who are questioning, y'all who are wanting to know why art is so important. Now you know. Now you know. Now you know. And that's not the end of it. This is the segue.
Holy hell.
Chad, you shut up while I'm talking, sir. Thank you. So this is the segue into our open mic and finally our spotlight feature of the evening who just joined us, Brandi Blaze. All the things are exciting. I'm titillated. Y'all don't understand me. Chad, what was the score?
Sorry for expressing surprise, which is, I'll just let my avatar speak for itself. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, enough of that. Give me 30 seconds.
Sure.
Eliminating two scores, the 9.5 and the 9.8, the lowest and highest scores respectively.
Chad, give me what you got.
And I'm giving you the final three, and I'm about to share that, unless you want me to share the cat again.
No, can you tell me, sorry, Afton score one more time? Did I miss
Afton
it?
score, I'm giving it to you right now.
Okay, all right.
Afton, once I get the screen shared. And go. The final scores are Afton Taylor with a 29.1. Jordan King in second place with a 28.9. And Amani O with a 28.0.
All right, I had to write down my notes because I got bills to pay. All right, thank you so much, Chad. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I'm just gonna repeat what you may not have known when you joined us. Let me take this off because I can't even deal. I need to look at myself. Thank you. I need to let y'all know what you didn't know if you joined us is that the first place winner that Chad just announced is none other than Afton Taylor, who just shared that lovely installation with us. Yes. It's because the shirt is like this that I can't have the way that I wanted to. And that first place prize is $150 this evening. You better inbox me your motherfucking Venmo. That's all I know. So, in second place, we have none other than Jordan King, $100 for that second place prize. I think I got you, but let's just make sure because we got the two email things going on. We want to be clear about where this is going. And then the third place prize is none other than Amani O at the $50. Y'all made some shmoney this evening. We gave away $300. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much to each and every single poet who participated in the slam. Don't go nowhere. There's more shit to come, but wait, there's more. So also we are, Chad is an essential worker and be out here in these hospitals and the veterans hospitals. So we are paying Chad for his time for scorekeeping. I know it's a difficult thing. I know everybody hates the math. I personally hate it. Some people love it, but I didn't like it. So there's that. And then also, we also are paying our featured slam artists. So if you got it like that, help us help them to help you. So thank you so much, everybody. Please make sure I have your Venmo or your PayPal. Don't ask me for Cashapp. I was involved in a credit card scam. It's too much. Okay, thank you. So yes, so that concludes our slam. That was an amazing slam. Y'all have to give it up for yourselves. Yes, I'm very proud of y'all. And we're gonna move into the open mic. The open mic is very brief, but it's beautiful. We have the following people on the open mic. Some of your favorites are returning. We have Jordan Z, Amani O, we have Free, and we have Amanda S. And so on deck, we have Amani O, but up right now is Jordan Z. Give it up for Jordan.
All right, let me just find it. I just lost it. Sorry. Okay. All of my technology is frozen at the same time. I might have to go.
Do you want me to come back to you, Jordan?
Yes, please.
Amani, are you ready?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I just wanted to double check. Free, you're gonna be on deck. My boo just texted me, so I'm, hey. And Free, you're gonna be on deck, and Amani. Let's give it up for Amani.
Hey y'all. So I just released a song called Untitled, and it's just like quarantine inspired. And I don't know if the music is gonna mess up a little bit, but it's a short song. It's only one verse, so I'm gonna just share it. Hopefully y'all feel it. I'll tell you where you can get it. I got all these fears about these things I think I ain't entitled to. Let me take a bite or two. I'm biking boot Poseidon knew he never should have fucked with a woman with a mouth. It is out. Me too, Tarana Burke gon' shout her out. It is time. Global woman gon' reclaim your rightful place in that balance, channel calendar, and be zoomed in on your localization. See you grinding, birthing, just to spin on earth rotation. The movement so contagious. The virus swept the nation. I made the song when struggling people was faced with more struggling. 1% was bubbling, but rebel music covered it. Man, we was making sense that we was getting through, that we gonna overcome. We building something new, something old, something borrowed, something spiritual, preparing for tomorrow. By the way, we getting through, we live today, tending to our elders and our global babies. I'm just here to make you sing, wade the water, put the revolutionary evolution in your twerk, and see how we ain't have to pay to make it work, and it's on, baby, call me up. I'm gonna look out for you, you gonna look out for me. I got your back, you got your back, and it shall pass like the nighttime. I want you by my right side, yeah, if it's the right time to be alive. I better live like I deserve it. Folks desert and people hurting, others working overtime, beyond concerning. Oceans returning. What do I fear? What am I rooting for? Beyond concerning. Oceans returning. Who am I root? I got all these fears about these things I think I ain't entitled to. Maybe I'm right. Ooh. I got all these fears about these things I think I ain't entitled to. Don't let that imposter syndrome get you. Shout out to my gender queers. We out here. Shout out to that melanin. We out here. Shout out to the feminine. We out here. Shout out to my fat people, healthy, gorgeous, and fierce. Shout out to my homies that's rolling in wheelchairs. Shout out to my spectrum people. We on here. Shout out to my elders at Gungun. You got us here. Shout out to my young people. Needed you here. Shout out to my non-humans teaching us care. Shout out to Soto, the mother drumming your ear. Shout out to essential workers saving lives with theirs. Shout out to medics front lines with the healthcare. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's just a little something to help us, you know, stay connected in this strange time. But that's my song. And I just put out a little lyric video for it on Instagram and Facebook. I will drop the link. Would love it if y'all could check it out and support it, because y'all know how it is out here as artists. But it's doing good so far, and it will do even better with your support. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Let's give Amani some streams. Just drop that into the chat, and Amani, if you could do us a favor and drop that link so people could stream you. On full blast, actually. I love the intersectionality in that piece. Thank you so much for sharing it. Those who are just joining us, we are finished. We are starting the open mic. We have 3 more poets, and then we are going to be graced by the presence of none other than Brandi Blaze. It's a lituation in here. That's all I got to say. So on deck, I have Amanda S., but up next is Free.
So I want to say congratulations to the winners of the slam. All of y'all are dope, fire flames. This slam was awesome. Again, thank you for allowing me to be a part of that. I want to give a quick trigger warning for relationship, trauma, abuse, etc. I remember you at Pink, a subtle and soft shade of red, believed in casting away at love like a fishing net. You caught me, on guard and under attack. Said you saw the fight from a mile away, smelled the stench of my own burnt skin, flames, riddle me like bullet holes to my chest, dragon's breath. You'd say I had a way of burning things to the ground, especially myself. You'd say magic, a way out of my own body. Magic is made from the abundance you poured out and into an empty cup. I, the empty cup, shattered at the top. You'd slice the tips of your fingers open from holding on, said you weren't afraid of sharp edges. Think you thought of me as a project, wanted to marry my traumas, but didn't know what to do with them. Pulled me into your fantasy land utopia. Maybe if you drowned me in your idea of perfection, I would become it. Maybe it would dry my tears of pain, fill my unhealed palette of abandonment with bright colors you promised. Fool's gold. You gifted me a ring of facades, no wonder why the stones fell out. Guess I wasn't worth a real diamond. Funny how you tried to buy your way into my heart like it wasn't already paid for. My darkness, owned property across the temples of my mind, how enslaved I'd become to your majesty. Believe that if I bowed at your altar, you'd birth me anew, bring me back to life. How you'd always remind me of the way you'd watch me suffer. I'd hold my own demons in my palms like hand grenades, and strategically you'd pull the pin and watch me detonate. Almost like you'd wait for the fireworks so you could write about how colorful they were against a dark sky. My demons would dance for you like puppets and you'd sing them lullabies. How childlike you'd become when you couldn't get them to sit down next to yours, quiet and obedient. Most of them bedazzled and dressed up in lace fronts. No matter how pink their wigs, my demons couldn't see past the pretty you painted until the storms of my past washed away like makeup. You could no longer cover up the hero cape you tried to wear but didn't fit you. My demons became characters in your fictitious narrative of a melancholy love, a sad song made for a great storyline, one in which you were wronged and always right, one in which you could make me disappear back into the sea you found me in. Said I drowned at your will. At the snap of your fingers, you could dispose of me like garbage, like a project you learned you couldn't enterprise. You wish you would have minded your own business, but now I lay like sour taste buds on your tongue. Your pink has become red now, like blood from slicing your own skin with my sharp edges. And I'd beg to stitch you back up with the bones of my corpse, even with how dead I've become to you. Thank you.
Thank you, poet. Thank you. Y'all going in on an open mic. Y'all ain't came to play. Y'all did not come to play. Jordan, you on deck. Damn free. Let's give it up. Ooh, let's hold libations for free. And let's keep that going for Amanda S. Come on, Amanda Shea.
Hey, y'all. Do y'all mind if I keep my video off? I just got some really shitty news and I didn't want to leave. So I'm just gonna spit this piece and respect Jordan speaking their last piece, and then I'm gonna head out. Cool. I just want to say thank y'all for allowing me to share this platform with amazing artists. You all were amazing. Thank you for sharing your gift and your light and your voice and being vulnerable. So this is called Sick. My exes got illnesses. It's a miracle I found myself free. I mean, immune. I watch these diseases take over their life in so many forms: addiction, gambling, mental health. I'm surprised they didn't stay. Somehow I feel guilty. Guilt kept me home all these years, claiming it was one. Castle walls surrounding my relationships, my heart laid out like a meal. Devour it. It'll cure your sickness. Love doesn't cure, it enables. At least what I was serving. Lying in my own blood, no more transfusions, no life support. The system crashed. The day it got bugged with these airborne attacks on my soul, clinging to my warm body. That's survival. Draining fluids until it's dry, dead, lifeless, mere mortal. I want to be free. Love is a battlefield indeed, but I keep getting slashed. Band-aids aren't big enough. I want to be there for my loved ones, no matter how much they bury me. Resurrect me when the moon is full. Energy vampires. I can't mourn myself. They don't either. Saving them privately. Me, I make front page. It's fine. It's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, baby. Please go take care of yourself, Amanda. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. Ooh, y'all gotta give it up for these poets. Our pain is our destiny. It's so wild. Whew. All right, poets. Jordan, you ready, baby?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. You don't have to apologize. Please never apologize unless you've done something wrong. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
The continuum. I asked Google to define the word continuum for me. Google explained it as a continuous loop wherein adjacent objects are not visibly different from each other, but their ends are easily quite distinct. I think that makes sense, though admittedly, I'm no scientist. All I know now is that I was born into a continuum, swaddled up in my father's fear, swallowed up by my mother's envy, and the force of their unremitting love slowly painted my empty canvas into frothing chaos as each sought to solve the riddle of my unencumbered nature. Her distorted, lockjaw loving diagnosed my body a crisis, my mind a lazy traffic jam, and my divinity a syndicated sitcom nobody wanted to watch. I emptied myself of all the pieces she wouldn't hold until I was nothing. A disappearing act I've perfected so well over time that when I look in the mirror, I hardly recognize if I'm still the magician or have become the secret. There are so many trapped doors inside me. My father chose to love me as a commander, fixing bruised knees before they were bullet wounds, saving the years of my life that he could, cutting away the misshapen fists of my resistance that ultimately would not make me a better soldier. To serve the God of my father's army or survive the ruin of my mother's war, I don't know. I guess it depends on who you ask. That same person could also probably tell you who won. I'm still convinced we were all just casualties. What I do know is my life exists on this continuum of being nothing and still the thorn in the flesh of my father's legacy, and I've balanced the scale by finding refuge in the middle. Pouring myself out again and again, hoping someone would notice there are braver ways to love, but no one does. I guess that's always been the point. No one can sustain the wells of my scarcity but me. And even if it is impossible to break or escape this continuous cage, maybe I'll rename it something else for a while.
Baby, the babies is so grown. Oof. Thank you to all the poets on the slam. Thank you to all the poets on the open mic. But wait, there's more. If y'all was waiting for this the way that I was waiting for this, I want to bring on my esteemed colleague, none other than Brandi Blaze. Brandi Blaze is an amazing, what the fuck is happening here? Is an amazing artist, organizer, Black woman, misandrist. You just all the things, bitch. You understand what I'm saying? And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome Brandi to the stage.
Hi guys, how are y'all? What's up?
Hi, Bulfa.
I'm moving around a little bit because I didn't realize it was this dark. And a bitch got a whole ass beat on.
No, this looks amazing. I was waiting for this.
Okay. All right. Get into it, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna just sit.
And you got a show,
I just
right?
see all my titties.
I'm here for it. You got a show on your IG that you do once a week or daily? I'm not sure.
Every Thursday at 6 o'clock.
Every Thursday at 6 o'clock.
I do makeup tutorials. Okay. You know, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but we're doing it.
You look like you did it. Stacy McHugh said, "Do you know what to do with a bitch like me?" That's what she
Hey, right. So I have a different guest on every week, and they teach my uncoordinated ass how to do my makeup. I think this week coming up, I have Nancia, amazing singer, on. It's my 7th episode next week. That's why I don't look insane right now. I look like I know a little bit of what I'm doing, right? There we go. You know I'm an artist too when I'm like, light. Where's the light?
You're never too forward to contour.
Okay. And you look good today too, Didi. What the fuck? You look amazing.
Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. That Fashion Nova. Okay.
Okay. So, you requested a song.
I requested a song because hearing this song, especially during this time, one of the poets actually mentioned it. I think it was Amani O who said that we should like rid ourselves of the imposter syndrome that we deal with from time to time. It doesn't matter who you are. I think no matter how sure in your craft you get, I think no matter how many accolades you get, sometimes I think you question yourself like, am I a fraud? And so when I was thinking of, do we just do poetry today or can we do music? I was like, I know you was on the show last month, but you just my favorite rapper's favorite rapper, bitch. I needed to have you here. You are a very dear friend to me. And I knew you when we was out here protesting the streets. So I know your growth and you know my growth. And I want to say like that song, I sit sometimes in the car and I listen to it and I just feel like it can heal so many people right now.
Thank you.
And so I just would like for you to share it with us.
Absolutely. This is a tough song for me. I've actually only performed it once, so this is my second time performing it. It's just a song that just means a lot to me, but it's very difficult. And just honestly, content warning ahead of time. I talk about suicidal ideation, abuse, rape, not shit niggas, because I feel like that needs a content warning too. And other things that are just, you know, uncomfortable and hard to sit with, imposter syndrome, things like that. So I just wanted to give that content warning before we get started. I love you guys. I love you, Dee Dee. Thank you so much for having me again. This is such a blessing. All of the poets were incredible. I've been watching the show on Facebook Live before I switched to Zoom, and everyone is just so talented and so amazing and vulnerable. And I'm glad that I get to be vulnerable with you guys as well. All right, so we'll get started. All right.
I love you, Brandi.
I love you too, baby. Yo, you know, we're about to get into this song, but I just want everyone to know, like, everything in life is temporary. I wrote this song last summer. I was in a fucked up place. I'm in such a better space now. Everything is temporary. Pain is temporary. And you're gonna get through it. You're gonna be okay. But it's okay to not be okay too. All right, y'all ready? Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Ain't nobody tell me life was gonna be this fucking hard. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Ain't nobody tell me life was gonna be this fucking hard. I'm so sick of being fucking strong. Gaslighted, being told I'm wrong. I've been listening to Jay-Z too long, cause I could only make this song cry. Only cry when I sleep, laugh when I can't hide. I know I'm toxic, I'm cyanide. Screaming, I just wanna get by. Nigga broke my wings so I can't fucking fly. And these people be like, try. Put my life on mountain that they can't fucking climb. Don't know what I've done to survive. Leaving all that old shit behind. I've never been good that could buy. I laugh and I say that it's fine. Never be weak, always in drive. Even when not your part. I don't dream of color shit, always been dark. These niggas put their dick in me, not give a fuck about me. When I cry excuses that they hide behind. I can't even fucking lie. I just want someone to love me. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Ain't nobody tell me life was gonna be this fucking hard. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Calling out for God, feeling like a fraud. Calling out for God. It's all right, y'all. It's all right. Nobody tell me life was gonna be this fucking hard. This pain that the men I could not deny. Sometimes I wish I would fucking die, so I don't have to feel no more. But the shit be irking me like a canker sore, and I cannot take anymore. Fuck what the future got in store. I can't be happy. What the fuck am I here for? That shitty there brought me to my core. How is makeup? I ain't tell nobody what you did, but it's me though, so it's all cool though. I feel like a coward cause I kept it on the low. Care more about my career than fucking exposing you. Lost my soul and spirit, can't lose my music too. So I just let it go, and I just let it be. Drinking so heavy till I can't fucking see. Feeling like I could never be what I wanna be. Yo, I think that's the first time I ever heard that song or performed that song and I didn't cry. So that's how I know I'm in a better space and I'm in a better place. And it's possible you will get there. If you're not feeling it right now, you will get there. Keep leaning on your art to get you through. Lean on your community to get you through, but you will get through. I love you guys so, so much. I love you, Dee Dee.
I don't cry every time I hear the song. I love you too. I just want to thank you, Brandi, for coming and sharing that. Yes, all the bays are on. I gotta get y'all on the show. You already know I'm plotting. I'm plotting. I'm plotting.
Coming up there.
I'm plotting. Okay. I just want to say that everyone needed to hear this medicine today. Everyone that tuned in, and if you can share this, this was so healing. I just want to thank you, Brandi. Please make sure I have your Venmo so I can take care of that tonight. Thank you for everyone who was on the open mic. Thank you for those who participated in the slam. Thank you to my co-conspirator, Crystal, aka Nava the Butterfly. Thank you to Chad, who just got off of work and was like, yes, I'll do the math for you. I hate it here. Thank you to all the viewers who tuned in. Thank you to folks who are donating $2 to $3. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We cannot do this without community. We cannot do it without our artists. We have to do this together and we will get through this. So thank you. I love y'all and I hope that y'all have an amazing evening. Peace, y'all.